I don't want your money. I want your bookie's money.
All right, let's get straight into it. UFC on ABC 8, Hill vs. Rountree Jr. goes down in Baku this weekend. I've locked in 6 individual bets for this event, and I'm going to go through the bets one by one, giving you the rationale behind each one. And I'm also going to give you which ones I passed on and the reasons for that. First of all, I haven't got the best odds on these fights because all of my bets are made in shop rather than online, because I can't be bothered with dealing with account restrictions and juggling accounts and all that kind of stuff. So I prefer to place bets in shop with cash. I'm only betting on fights where I think the odds make sense and where I think there's some edge. If there's no kind of value or edge or whatever, then I don't bother doing it because I don't think it's worth the risk. Okay, so my first pick of the night is going to be Jamahal Hill to win. I'm backing Hill at even money. I respect Rountree's power, but in this 5-rounder, I'm going to go with Hill's cardio, his volume, reach, and composure. Hill also lands more than 6 strikes per minute, and he's proven he can go hard for 5 rounds. Meanwhile, with Rountree, he tends to either knock you out or disappear. And after that beating he took from Pereira, I don't really fancy his chances in this one for some reason. So, in my eyes, the value in this one is with Hill. Next up, I'm going to be backing Rafael Fiziev. He's coming off a loss and a knee injury, sure, but his opponent is flashy, but hasn't fought anyone at Fiziev's level. Fiziev has fought Gaethje, Moicano, Riddle, which are top 10 guys. And when it comes to technique, it's not even close in my eyes. Fiziev's movement, shot selection, and power are cleaner, sharper, and more proven. And now that we're getting Fiziev at plus odds, I'm going with him over the hype. Pick number 3, I'm going with Tofiq Musayev to win. Musayev is one of my favorite underdog plays on this whole card. His opponent is a solid grappler with good pace, but he hasn't quite dealt with someone like Musayev. And he's finished 18 of his 20 wins, 14 of those in the first round. He's got the home crowd energy, nasty power, and way more big fight experience. If his opponent doesn't dominate the grappling early, he's going to eat something heavy. So that's why I've gone with him. So in my 4th pick, we're going with the heavyweight battle, and I'm going to go with Muhammad Usman to win. This is a typical low-level heavyweight fight, and that's exactly where I like taking underdogs. Hamdi hasn't fought in over 2 years. He's coming off a USADA suspension, and there's been illness in camp too. Usman isn't clean technically, but he's active, gritty, and he's been in the cage more recently. In a sloppy heavyweight grind, I want to go with the guy with momentum, not the one with ring rust. And because of that same matchup, I'm also going to go with under 2.5 rounds on this one. Both of these guys can hit. Both of them can gas. And let's be real, this thing is either ending fast or getting painful to watch. At nearly 2-to-1 odds, this here is a value play. Whether it's a wild exchange, a bad shot, or one guy completely folding, I don't see this reaching round 3. And that's why I've made those 2 picks for this matchup. And my final pick of the card is Jun Young Park. When you look at the price, it isn't sexy, but he's probably the safest pick on the card. His opponent is slick, but he struggles against pressure and takedowns. Park is a machine when he gets on top. He breaks guys. Unless his opponent shows up with superhuman takedown defense, This is Park's fight to lose as far as I'm concerned. And this is going to be my safe bet of the night. Even though, obviously, you can never say safe in the world of betting. It's low risk and solid reward, and that's why I've made it. Now, let's talk about the fights that I've decided to skip and why. Because the thing is, not placing a bet is just as important as placing a smart bet. So the Curtis Blaydes fight. Blaydes should win. I feel pretty safe betting on him, but at these odds, I didn't think it's worth the risk. So if anything, you play him inside the distance or you don't touch it. And in this case, I've opted to not touch it. The next one I've decided to leave is Sadikov versus Mota. Sadikov's got skills, but the line's way too wide on this one. And Mota's tough enough to survive. So we're going to pass on that one. Alexieva versus Segula. It's too wild for me. Alexieva's too unpredictable and too inconsistent, so it just wasn't appealing. With Cole versus Elliott, there wasn't enough footage for me to watch to make my decision on this one, and I had too many questions on this fight, so I decided not to go betting blind on this one. So that's my slip structure for these 6 bets, all built on value, not vibes or hype. If this cashes, it will be a profitable night, even if 1 or 2 miss. If you're betting the card, or if you've got a different read on any of these fights, drop your picks below. I want to hear what you're on. And if this helped you, give it a like and subscribe for the next breakdown. I don't bet everything, I bet edges. Catch you after the fights.